What's up and welcome to the news. So if you give a mouse a muffin, if you give a mouse a muffin, if you give a mouse a muffin, did it even happen? Or if you give a moose a cookie, he surely will scamper to get to it indeed. But one thing one might ask thyself is, if it happens in an isolated space, far away from ears where anyone would commonly know it, they'd be present, did it even happen? And did it even happen? Well, of course it actually did, because after all there's not much more to us than us. There's not much more to us than us. In this global atmosphere, we are all one energy. There's not a real choice, and that is how the differentiation happens between two different types of marketplaces that there are on this planet Earth. Indeed, it's spiritual finance information that I am trying to kick your direction this day. That is what we are focusing on usually anyhow. What am I talking about this for? I am talking about the difference between private and public markets. Oh yeah. In public markets, it is typical that prices are chosen. Prices exist because supply and demand sets a certain number measurement after all, and there is a set schedule that does reflect the current measurements for the public markets every day, and it is reflective and contingent upon an analysis that is also contingent on the market's performance and the other existing assets, making it be a certain level. Yeah. And it's also quite not alright to be able to have connectivity to those who work within the company to be able to learn about information that has to do with the rate of the progress of the stock market. Value price action, if you will. Yeah. So the other side to this is private markets. It's the private markets sector, and it's a bit unique because, well, for one thing, it is actually the opposite. It is entirely the opposite. And what this is relevant for is because there's two types of ways to earn monetary energy, to gain monetary energy strength within a portfolio. And in the public market, public investing sense, it is illegal to do insider trading in essence. So that is apparent. And yes, that is a way to earn is in the public markets by investing in this fashion. However, on the flip side, in private markets, it's actually possible to just do somewhat the opposite. Because in essence, what you've got is a marketplace that is somewhat unique, and what you've got is the ability to actually do quite the opposite. If you are a controller of a company, for example, that is one element. Another one is to be an investor in a private market company as well. So how this is relevant is because it's completely illegal to do insider trading and have any sort of influence over price action if you're in the public markets. Whereas in the private markets, it is entirely different. And it's actually expected to be able to try to manipulate the price of a currency that is measuring the value that corresponds to the price of the legitimacy of a company asset and value in the private market. It's up to a company to actually try to be able to influence that price in a readily basis. Oh yeah, and what they're doing it is influencing it by sometimes using influencers or sometimes using marketing, but in essence marketing is in essence almost like a transposition of the word that entails trying to be able to do marketing, which means put assets, an asset, in other words a stock, energy, an energy of a certain company's symbol or a symbolic reference for their energy to become a certain price level, and to specifically influence their price, and to specifically give insider information that is something that is directly intending to hopefully influence the nature of the market, or even using influencers to influence the nature of the market and the cost of the value of the goods within the market by, oh yeah, literally using conceptually influencers to be able to influence that price action. Oh yeah, oh, because it's not quite a security at that time, and therefore any energy in the whole world can become asset energy in this sense, because it has to be marketed and put on the market and then therefore traded as though it's a stock energy type of energy indeed. But if it's not within the public markets, it doesn't clear itself as a security, and therefore it's actually intended to do insider trading the whole time. And that's the way that public and private markets are a little bit different. It is completely normal to do insider trading in the private markets. And the thing that is the lever in this ability to do this process in the private markets is to try to leverage insider trading oneself by just manipulating the market, by being able to acknowledge on the market that you have the ability to influence people's mindset just by giving them information and putting out information using media buying, which is a tool. It's a tool in of itself. It's a tool that is not exactly commonly known. And so therefore, if you use this information to your advantage, you can also influence the nature of the stock price of a given asset, or you can make assets and then influence their stock price based upon going from there. But it's based upon also media buying, and media buying based on a brand that's supposed to be established in the marketplace, and that's the purpose of marketing, is to be able to establish it in the marketplace. And it's just sort of unique because you're not supposed to be able to try to influence anything at all in the public markets, whereas maybe it seems like it's a gift or something to be able to leverage marketing agencies and marketing as a whole, as a gift, as a tool, as a piece of gold, as a tool for spinning gold in a certain respect, if it's looked at in this light. And oh yeah, it must be to a certain degree, because there is no real other way to go about this in terms of asset creation and monetary energy creation in this world, which can then be spun into philanthropy energy at a later time. But that's not what this is about. This is in essence about talking about two types of ways to earn funds, two types of ways to earn money and monetary energy, which is one, investing, and the other one is sales. Sales and investing, in those two things and collaboration are best to be able to create compound synergy. Although when you're marketing something, it's obvious that you're trying to make sales. You're trying to make sales, and therefore you're able to try to manipulate the markets by giving insider information to the actual audience and giving inside information for them to be able to want to buy. And therefore you're releasing insider information on a continuous basis, hoping to actually specifically influence the nature of the price of that given stock, which means an asset, which means the energy of that asset, which means the energy of that process, to be able to try to scale that energy. And that is unique to the marketing side. That is different from the public market side, and that is worth acknowledging in this podcast, because it empowers all people to be able to leverage the power of marketing, to be able to tell stories and be able to tell their own story in this way by just understanding that this capability is a possibility at all. And it also sheds light on the ability to be like bigger entities that are out there because that's what they do in a certain respect, just like some of these big brands that have just been called out for making their things in China, and they're multi-billion-dollar companies that are luxury brands that do nothing that's a lot different than a lot of other companies except market themselves in an exclusive scarcity mindset type of way. And in this certain respect, it is very peculiar and worth acknowledging that this is a vibe that's put into the marketplace. That's a sentiment that's put into the marketplace so that people want to buy from it, and therefore it has to do with psychology and the nature of marketing. But being able to connect with actual marketing agencies in of itself is a tool and a gift to be able to just try to facilitate the ability to create assets in the marketplace. And it's very unique to acknowledge marketing agencies in this way is what they do. It's worth it to be able to find your local agency and give it a spin and put things up their pipeline so that you can hopefully also benefit from the nature of this process that's completely unique to the normal nature of investing. But this is also investing that's allowed to manipulate and influence the market price, and that's the whole purpose behind the game of marketing and the marketing agencies as well. And in addition, with Dinky Tehc Energy, we're trying to do the same thing, not exactly by just like influencing the price, but talking about our price action in this podcast, for example, and also trying to create momentum with this podcast so that in essence we're trying to influence the nature of the price and also the value of the Dinky Tehc price for the stock price, in essence, which is just like a symbol of a stock price of Dinky Tehc, which is a symbol of the nature of the energy just trying to grow in an ever-present way, which is what an asset energy is supposed to try to do. But this asset energy for Dinky Tehc is a bit unique because it's obviously an internal brand and it's an internal company. It's something I know more about more than anything else because that's what I am as an energy, speaking from an energy standpoint. And for that reason, it is worth it to note in addition that this energy is hoping to compound and hope to grow by doing more of this edutainment on a day-to-day basis and trying to stack assets, and it is also our mission to, in an ever-present sense, continue to snowball in this way so that the price is facilitated in the marketplace. Please help join us on this mission. Oh, yeah. In facilitating price motion, please contribute to passing us around in the marketplace so that we've got better chances of being known. Ooh, try to take some of the guesswork out of the mission for you and try to make it more easy to join by bringing more content to you and making it less work for you to have to go to it as well, so that this process is able to compounding interests, external interests, so yeah. And last, in the same respect, in the same regard, it's worth acknowledging and understanding that our one world is one world. Oh yeah, and in terms of real estate, in terms of a real estate instance, it's worth acknowledging that everybody lives in our one single world. We all live in the same place. We all live in the same space. We all are crossing across everyone else's living space, and we all live in one world. That means every country's connected. That means every home is connected. That means every ecosystem is connected. Every country, every element of every energy on the planet is completely connected. And that's what the public markets are supposed to be all about. That's what they're supposed to be reporting all about, is how those assets connect and collect in different ways in the public markets to be able to influence each other in that way. And that's what the news is in that sense for the public markets is how all those energies are pulling and pushing off of each other in an ecosystem that is the greater economy, public market sense. So in addition to that, we've got more news to bring to you about this. And in addition to this mindset with everything acknowledged as one world house, we all live in one house. This is all one giant house for everybody that everyone lives in. And so with that in mind, it means everything is possible. Also, every possible avenue, every possible direction, as long as certain political elements are allowing for it, as long as it's possible to travel within certain political means and functionally be able to flow based upon being allowed and legitimately from a democratic or political perspective, that if it's possible for the energy to flow, that it's possible that the energy can go there, and therefore with everybody living in one world, it means everybody's ability and capabilities are somewhat in essence the same, and those abilities and capabilities can overlap and last across the whole world. The whole entire world can have those capabilities open up to every single person. So we want to try to, as a company, as a brand, as a mission, as Dinky Tehc and Change for Game Studios, open up all those capabilities and attempt to open up all those pipelines for all people in the best way possible, as a brand purpose as a whole, to be able to bring those capabilities to mind as a whole, as a purpose, as we compound our interests and our energy as a whole, to be able to enlighten all of those personal brand energies and unlift and unlock that unfulfilled potential to the marketplace. Ooh, those unfulfilled potentials to the marketplace for all humans as personal brands, to be able to use that private market influence and use the power of marketing to be able to just get out there and push the interest to it. Combine investing with marketing by investing in marketing as a whole, so that all people get the ability to be able to add electricity to their own personal brand and their own personal energy that is already electricity to begin with, but to be able to add the powers of marketing to super boost and give them like a transformer-like suit to their own energy, to be able to give more powers and more energy to that energy and give it something just like a transformer suit, which is like technology that it can wear, or like a car or a vehicle, to be able to add to it so that that electricity can expand and spawn and spin in a better way, in a more efficient way, in a marketing vehicle kind of a way, by acknowledging that these marketing vehicles exist to begin with, and everybody starts to play that game and has that ability to influence the market and price action and all things considered in between, in every way, up and down, in that certain respect. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Thanks again, Dinky Tehc. Peace, 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 bye.